Don't worry, I got it. I got it. No problem. Sorry, I'm a couple of minutes late here. But happy Juneteenth, officially.
Yes.
And
Y'all know I love the screen when all the little squares come on. Like it does something to me inside when there's more than just two of us on here. So I love this.
She's so ready.
so everybody put your city and state in the chat. I'm going to go and make sure that we are up on all of our social platforms while Tawana, would you do the intro just so we can talk about all this goodness that we're going to have tonight?
Absolutely. So we are the 10K Project. My name is Tawana Rivers, your Chief Operating Officer. That is Cherie Warwick there in the pretty red shirt, your CEO. And we are the largest community of investors. We help fund Black businesses in addition to teaching about wealth building and motivating each other and lifting each other up and all those other things that we do as ancillary services. We are here at the end of the day to make sure our people are better than when they arrived, right? That's the ultimate goal, is that they learn something here that they can take with them and start their journey on wealth building and financial literacy and all of those things we need to do to just be better and feel better about our circumstances. So super, super excited. For anyone who is new joining us for the first time, we ask that you come back and talk to us, next Monday. We ask that you join us. The10kproject.com is our website if you want to learn about more of our offerings, watch our informational video. For anyone who is a returning member, which I see so many of our members here already in the group and watching us on YouTube and Facebook, thank you for rolling with us and rocking with us all this time. I keep saying, like, it's hard to believe we've been doing this now for almost 3 years. Like, that is crazy to me because it doesn't seem like that long, but we've learned a lot in almost 3 years. And so we've got a lot to show and a lot to share, a lot more to share. And a lot of our community members have had successes with some of the things that we've been teaching. And that's what tonight's session is really about. So, we've been talking about this business buying thing, right? And for those of you who are here and who are members or who have been, kind of watching us and following us, you all know how I feel about it, right? I didn't want you just to hear from me this time. I know y'all tired of me telling you how great it is. So, so I decided to bring my squad so they can tell you how great it is. And for those of you who have just joined, I did share earlier that we did invite some of the fellas that have gone through the mastermind and who are also actively buying businesses. They were busy this evening. I would imagine Father's Day may have been a little rough for a few of them in a good way. And so they weren't able to join us tonight, but we love the fellas. And I not joked and said, don't email me talking about where the men at. They exist. We acknowledge them. They were busy. Okay. And so tonight we're going to talk about business buying. We've got the president and CEO of DMI Institute, the Deal Makers Institute here, Robin Mansell, to talk about what her company is offering in the form of the Mastermind. We've got Laverne Duncan, Dr. Keisha Waddell, Talisha Shine, and myself here to talk about the class itself and what we received from it from an education standpoint and how it allowed us to be ready and prepared to start our businesses. And so we're just super, super excited to share that information with you this evening in hopes that, you walk away with two things: either wanting to go to the mastermind, experience some of this education for yourself, right? Or learn how to become passive investors, because everyone doesn't have the time to have to buy the business themselves. Some people just want to invest in some of the businesses. And so, many of us here have started our own firms. We'll talk to you about that. We'll give you our information on how, if you're interested in just being a passive investor, how you can work with us and make some of those financial dreams come true that way as well. So with that said, Cherie, did you have anything planned else you wanted to say, or you want us to jump right in?
Well, I just wanted to make sure we introduced equity crowdfunding to everybody. I had pulled up the little one
Okay, go
pager.
ahead. Yeah,
Okay,
that's our
so
foundation. We got to always talk
yeah,
about that.
yeah. So just for anybody who is new, you aren't sure what the 10K project is. Our primary purpose is to fund Black-owned businesses, and I haven't shown this in a while, but we're just going to come back to how equity crowdfunding works. First thing is, what is equity crowdfunding? It is when a group of people get together in order to put money into a pot for a specific purpose. That's what crowdfunding is. So the most famous example are GoFundMe's. However, what we do is equity crowdfunding. And the way that it works is that a company comes to us and says they want to raise money through equity crowdfunding. They do have to go through the SEC and FINRA in order to be approved to raise money in this manner. But through the law, they are able to raise up to $5 million from regular people like you and I. You put in $100, I put in 150, Tawana puts in 8,000 because she's Big Willie style over there, etc. Right? But we all get together, we put money in a pot, and we help fund a business. So every week, every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, we feature a Black-owned business that is raising capital. They do something called a Bet on Black pitch. The way that Tawana works it is that for the first 15 to 30 minutes, the entrepreneur presents their company to the community. And then for the rest of the time, the audience gets to ask that entrepreneur questions, and Tawana does not leave until all the questions are answered. Then you as an individual gets to review the business plan, you get to research the company, do something called your due diligence, and decide if you as an individual wants to invest in that company. Again, minimum investments are oftentimes $100 for you to invest in that company in exchange for equity or shares or partial ownership in that business. Then if the company makes it big, then we as the investors that put money in get to share in the profits. If the company doesn't make it for whatever reason, doesn't mean it was a bad company. It just could be that, things happen in business. Then you only lose the amount of money that you have put into the business itself. So the 10K project got its name because the idea is, hey, if 10,000 of us came together and we each put in a small amount of money, even $100, we could raise money for businesses. We can fund our own companies instead of begging the banks and the investors to do it. We can profit from our own innovation, we can create jobs, and we can work together to build Black wealth. So I just want to let you know you can join the10kproject.com in order to join our community. You also, if you join today, you get to see all of the open campaigns that we have. We send out a newsletter every Monday and Thursday around noon, and all of the open campaigns are in that newsletter. So you could start building a portfolio of companies that you're invested in. And then there's more. If you want to upgrade to the to 6 months of financial planning, we have a collaboration and a partnership with Freeman Capital. They are certified financial planners. They work with you, first of all, on the mental aspects of getting your money together. They help you pull together what you need, whether it's a budget, whether it's helping you pay off debt, what's the structure, what's the plan for that. And the way that you do that is when you become a member, because you have to be a member for this, you go into this, it's called the Knowledge Center. You go to My Account, you'll see your face there in your picture, and it says upgrade to 6-month financial planning right here. You click on that, and you will be able to get the upgrade that way. So those are the two things that I wanted to show you. Within the Knowledge Center, there's so much information, so much educational content in there as well. Tawana, let me just step back and just make sure I show everybody this as well.
Okay.
So this is our Knowledge Center here. This is all of our educational content. If you want to start a family bank, if you want to learn about economic strategy, our very own Dr. Cherie Phillips is our 10K economist. You want to learn about business credit. You want to learn about different careers, celebrity interviews, developing money savvy kids, all sorts of stuff is in here. We have a very rich knowledge center in here, and you can learn about all sorts of topics with regards to making money, managing it, and multiplying it. And we have our expert directory here as well. Everybody is an expert in something. Anybody who is a member of the 10K project, and everyone is encouraged to include yourself in the expert directory. The whole idea is we want to circulate the Black dollar longer. How do we do that? Number one, these companies are raising money because of 10K project members. Then they come back to the community and say, hey, I have a job available, or I have a contract available. They're able to come here to the expert directory, find who they're looking for, reach out to you, or other members need products and services as well. If you have your information in here and it is searchable, somebody is able to put in, I need a marketing person, and let's say that I come down here and I'm going to click Audrey's name and I see all the things she can do. I can click connect. I can send her a message directly and she will communicate with me that way. Did I get everything? Oh, I forgot to mention go ahead, Tawana.
I was going to say, we've got two specials going on right now. We've got the Dads and Grads special. So if you're interested in being a member, the code is graduate 200. And then we also have a special on the financial plan. And I believe that code is financial plan 450.
I'm sorry, one more thing. Everybody in YouTube, first of all, so happy you're in YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. Please like the video, thumbs up, everything. We need as much algorithm juice as we can possibly get. So please do that for us. And Tawana, I'm going to toss it over to you.
All right. So let's talk about business buying, right? Robin, I'm going to start with you. Since your company, actually, since Robin found 10K Project, and absolutely loved what we were doing enough that she shared this wonderful concept of buying businesses with us. And so, Robin, I personally thank you for what it means in my life today. But please, let's talk about how is business buying possible? What is it? What does it mean? What would it mean for 10K Project members? And how can we get involved in it?
So first of all, thank you, Tawana. I've been a proud member of the 10K Project now for 2 years, I think about 2 years, because I love what you guys are doing. And so it only made sense for me to come to you and talk about us partnering and you being a strategic partner. And also, so you guys know, we're in the middle of a merger and acquisition. I'm on my way to being of the DMI, not yet, but we're in the middle of that. So I'm still with TAM Elite Institute. So anyway, let's talk about why this is important. The reason it's important is because there are some 12 million businesses that are baby boomers are retiring. They are selling those businesses not because of COVID or the pandemic. They're selling those businesses because they're retiring. And a lot of these businesses have been very active, they're profitable, they come already with a built-in clientele, they come with credit, they literally come already profitable and cash flowing. So what we are doing is we are going in and we are showing you how you can reduce your risk by going in and buying a business that's already existing, already has everything in place. We're not even suggesting that you work there because we have a criteria of the businesses that we buy. So they have to meet a certain criteria in order for us to purchase that business in the first place, as you know, Tawana. And so you're not talking about having to take on another business. We are talking about that business is going to run itself, and we do all the work and we teach you how to understand what to look for in a business also. So it's a nice process, but it's also a well-kept secret. A lot of people are not familiar. We all think about starting a business from scratch, and this is going to be the probably the next biggest wealth transfer.
You're on mute.
I was listening to another group, and someone in the group said that he needed services for his business. He's an entrepreneur, he has a startup, and he said he needed services for his business, and he was looking to hire someone to do the thing he needed. And someone else suggested, instead of hiring one person, why don't you buy my business? Because I'm getting ready to sell it. And it was the whole service that this guy needed. Mm-hmm. And I watched them literally in a chat. I watched them like close a deal. I was like, okay, this is what's up. Like, more people know about this than we think, right? But we still have to get it out to the masses, especially our community. You know, everyone is not meant to be an entrepreneur, but every entrepreneur is not meant to start a startup, right? You know, I can tell you, if it wasn't for Cherie, I don't know that I could do a startup. Like, I want to jump in and kind of have things already structured and organized, because that's my personality type, right? And so, you know, I'm grateful to Cherie for her innovation and vision, because she's able to kind of do some of that stuff to get us to structure to where I'm then comfortable. But imagine someone like me walking into a business that already has the structure, right? That would have been a dream for someone like me, and a lot less sleepless nights. So, you know, there are, you know, these businesses have processes, they have, you know, they've got people, right? So they've already got the staff. They've got the clients, they have the revenue coming in, right? They've already got the product and services. They just need a little TLC. They need some efficiencies. They may need automation. They may need to come into this era from a digital standpoint, but they are on their own without any enhancements from us. We've only selected companies that have a valuation and good cash flow, that they are already sustainable and profitable.
Absolutely. And something you bring up, everybody is not aware of what makes a business sellable. And one of the first things I had everybody do is read a book called Built to Sell. Because the brokers that we work with have told us that 90% of those businesses that are put up for sale, the evaluation is completely off. That's really important. You need to really know the numbers. And I'm sure you've seen this before. I'm a big Shark Tank fan. I love Shark Tank. I'm just a real big fan. But have you all wondered how they get those numbers?
Yes.
And so we take you through that whole process, because we don't buy potential. We do not buy potential. Now, are we going to add value? Like you said, Tawana, we're going to add a digital space and add some other things to it, so that in case of another pandemic, they don't have to worry about losing revenue as much. Okay. So we are going to help build up that. But when we look at a business, we're looking at getting it for the best price based on the evaluation that we teach you how to be able to figure that out. Because a lot of people in their mind might say, well, I think my business is worth $200,000. Where'd you get that number? Where did you get that? And you and us as buyers of these businesses, we don't want to overpay. We do not want to overpay. We know a lot of that's been going on lately, but we're not interested in overpaying for a business.
Yeah, very good. Laverne and Dr. Keisha, I'll let you guys jump in. Tell us what this opportunity meant for you.
I want to jump right in and to tell you guys, as you all know, I'm a teacher. I'm a teacher, high school teacher, and I have to say, this school year has been pretty tough, and being able to teach my students the framework of something that is, real world and applicable, they were excited. They were excited to have it, have me present that. And I played it off by working it into a Raisin in the Sun. We read A Raisin in the Sun, where Walter loses the money because he tried to get a business.
Right,
so I worked that into the curriculum.
Ooh, that was smart.
Right. And it was, so I was like,
Walter, in them lessons.
Flipping it in, it's like Walter and Bobo learn how to buy a business. So I walked through the whole process, the innovation, all of that. And it really went over well. The biggest thing I got from it was just truly real world application. And as we talk about all the time, here I am, I have a PhD, I went that traditional, trajectory. And what I'm finding is that, I really need to, what I've been trying to do with my students is get them off of that whole idea, really, and just look at opportunity where it presents itself and, get in where you fit in, and this is the kind of opportunities that are available right now. So it's been tremendous. It really has been tremendous. I'm still learning, I'm the biggest student, being the teacher, I'm still learning so many different things, and the options are just vast in this particular group. Definitely.
Laverne?
So for me, of course, when I first heard about it, I was skeptical, but intrigued. Skeptical, but intrigued.
That was me, Laverne, right? That was me.
So, and now I'm coming from a place where a few years back, I did purchase a business, and so I can relate to the whole sleepless nights, and you don't know, how it's going to go. But when I went through this course and just the nuggets and the tools, the methods that you learned, how to value, how to check the valuation, is it undervalued, is it overvalued, priceless, totally priceless. So now with me, my schedule is a bit complicated because I'm just don't have a lot of free time. So buying the business with the class and just being a part of that and have other people to lean on, and it's not me having to do everything, just working with the whole group of people, and everybody had their own section that they were working on, and then we all came together, and we are at our second one. I mean, this is amazing. This is a game changer. A game changer.
It is. That's a good way to say it. And, and I've been very transparent. When we started this process, I was like Laverne, I was skeptical. The whole time, Curtis came and was talking to us, and I was just kind of like whatever, like, we'll see. Right. And there was a part of me, if I'm being completely honest, there was a part of me that was like, I'm gonna take this class to show that it's BS, right? Right? I think so. I think inside I was not thinking it was possible. I really wasn't. There were a couple of things at play. I didn't think I was smart enough, right? Because when you hear buy a business,
right.
And I think I'm kind of smart, but I didn't think I was smart enough to buy a business. I didn't think I had enough, even and Curtis said, you don't have to use your own capital. I was like, come on, like that's not a thing. Nobody's gonna let you use their capital. Right? Again, not educated in how this all works, not even realize with as much as we teach here, still there's so much more for us to learn about how the rich get richer, right? And how the wealthy make this thing look so seamless and easy because it is, right? I think we've been programmed to think that it's not possible for us. So we add a whole bunch of, I can't, I won't, I'm not capable. I did that, right? And it was the first night of the class, and I knew I was gonna come because I signed up, right? I'm a follow through kind of girl. I knew that, but I wasn't sure I was gonna be successful. I'm competitive. I don't like to fail, right? And I don't like to lose. Those are the things I know to be true about me. So I was all in, but I wasn't convinced I would be successful. So on the first night of the class, as class was going, I was like, "Ooh, I understood that, huh?" And I was like, "I understood that." And then he got to the math, and I was like, "Oh, I ain't gonna understand that." And then I was like, "Oh shucks, I understood that." And so by the end of the class, I was like, "Okay," like my chest was out and my shoulders was back a little bit more, and I was like, "Okay." By week 2, I was like, "This is my jam." Like I'm on, like I get it. Like I was like, I get it. I love it. My brain kept like that whole week, because we were meeting once a week. The time we weren't meeting, like everything I did was walking and talking what we learned, and I was applying it. We went through the innovation project first, and like I literally everything I did, I saw a better way for people to do it. And like it got on my family's nerve those first couple of weeks. They were like, "Yeah, we get it. Right. They should do this, this, and this, and that. We get it, Tawana. Like, stop." Like, but I couldn't turn it off. Mm-hmm. Like, it was just like, this is amazing. I would go in stores and I'd be like, if you did this, you probably, I guess like you probably have a better result. And some stores were receptive, and some would look at me like, "Lady, who are you?" Right. but I felt it like taking over me in a very, very amazing way. It truly is something that I think is magical, and I'm so grateful that more people are going to learn about it through us. Talisha, what was your experience?
I think it's a very much a culmination of different things. I have an MBA. I tell people that, like, it's just a thing. It's a piece of paper, but I have one. At no point during my MBA was I ever taught this skill. So that's the failing of the education system. I learned a whole lot about business. I learned a whole bunch about business modeling and structuring and all those kind of things, but didn't have a vocational outlet. And I think that's the key. I'm a vocational learner. Being a programmer, being that kind of highly technical person, I need an output, just not an input. It doesn't set for me. So as you were saying, you need the math. I got the math. I know how to do math all day, every day. But what am I doing the math for? What does it mean when I do the math? I need all of that. I need that framework to make this work for me. So this was the class gave. It gave the possibility, showing that this is what you're going to do and this is how you do it. So that's to me, that 1-2 punch that you really truly need, because you can say, oh yeah, just go ahead and do it. We are not Nike. We just don't do it. That's not what we do. We truly do need some type of framework or some workflow. Not everything is the same, but you have to have those steps. You have to know where to begin. You do have to have what is evaluation. It is not just something plucked out of the air. How do you evaluate where those numbers come from? Also, you need that. It's not creative math at any point of this journey. And I think that to me is the biggest thing that I've learned, in that I've gotten to apply and then do it and do the success at this point. And I will say, like, the way we were taught, it was very vocational in nature, making you see very practically, this is what innovation looks like. It doesn't have to be this behemoth kind of technological thing, because again, I always tell you from the 10K, tech for tech's sake doesn't mean anything. It has to have a reason and it has to supplement something. It just can't exist on its own. And so all of those things that we the journey of going through, I always look at it like a customer journey, but we're the client. We are actually the client going through this part of it, and we are actually the owners. So going through that, taking us to the end, and then actually having something to show for it, to me is the full process, and you can't get that anywhere. And I know I certainly didn't get that. And I paid a whole lot of money for that expensive wallpaper, as I call it now.
Yeah.
I wanted to add.
Go ahead, Dr. Keisha. Go ahead.
Oh, I just wanted to add another thing too that gave me such peace too, is the whole idea of the network, the ecosystem that is already pre-made for us and in this group. And not just folks trying stuff, but folks who have been there, done that, really they do this, and everybody's in their lane, and everybody is applying their part to this process. And it's just been tremendous. I'm telling you, that's really been the big piece that really helped me along too. Yeah, it's been, like I said, I can't even I love it so much.
No, that's awesome. Cherie, you were going to say something, then I want Robin to talk about the 4-day challenge.
Absolutely. So first of all, you all already have a sale in YouTube, Good Times.
Okay.
Is saying, how do we get that course you all are speaking about? Awesome. So I saw Opal say that she's jealous here in the chat. So many people are giving the thumbs up about this, but I really chimed in to come piggyback off of what Talisha said, because I too have a master's in finance. Well, I have a master's in finance. She has an MBA. Nobody from high school ever talked about this. Nobody in my business degree in college ever talked about this. And nobody in my master's degree in finance ever talked about how to buy a business, how to evaluate the business, like any of it, So even though many of us within the 10K project, I won't say most because we don't have all the data, are scholastically educated, there's so much within the game of money that we have not been taught. And there's about to be a $68 trillion wealth transfer in the next 20 to 30 years.
Yeah.
We have an opportunity to take some of the wealth, it can be sold to us, and then be able to take the improvements that Robin and Curtis teach, and be able to add value. The other thing is, before you talk about your 4-day, I received a phone call from one of the gentlemen that took the first class. And he was blown away. And he and his partner are buying a logistics company, a trucking and logistics company from a white owner operator. They are going to basically turn that white company into a Black owned business. That's one of the things we had talked about before.
Yep.
And with the ability to do that, they'll be able to go after government contracts as a service disabled, veteran owned business. Because I think one of them, if not both of them, they're both veterans, but I think one is service disabled, and Black business owners, minority business owners. So we have been talking here about how do we change what generational wealth looks like. Earlier today, Tawana and I talked as well, and all of a sudden it popped in my head that we are recreating Black Wall Street. But Black Wall Street in the early 1900s was a physical place. All of a sudden it dawned on me that Black Wall Street in the 21st and 22nd century is going to be this collective group. What do we call it, Robin? Social, you told me to write it down.
Social,
Right.
what'd you say, social?
I forgot the term
You
already.
said it's a social conversation or social.
Yeah, social,
Yeah.
yes, social conversations.
Social
Yes.
conversations. I have it written here. Yes. So I got so many notebooks on my thing. Social conversations. But I believe that, we are looking at rebuilding Wall Street, 21st century, which is going to be us taking these social networks and using them to empower us this way. So that's my 2 cents to this. I'm going to toss it back over to Tawana and Robin.
So I just want to read a couple of comments, and then I want Robin to talk about the 4-day challenge. So Lakina, who is also a student in the Mastermind, says it's absolutely revolutionary program. And if you allow it to, it will change how you think. And then Kevin Brooks, who is also a student. Oh, Kevin said, I'll feel better when I get that first distribution payment. Kevin is a mess. But Kevin, say something in the chat about how your experience in this group. Say something about that. But it really is such a wonderful opportunity. And so Curtis and Robin have created something even different than all of us experienced. And, and those in the chat who are in the first and the second class, there's a 4-day challenge, and I'm going to put the word free on the end of it. And so Robin, tell us all about that, because that sounds like a great time.
So I want to also say, you guys were talking about never learning about this or never hearing about, how to buy businesses. I've been an entrepreneur. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I walked out of corporate America 30 years ago. I've had multiple businesses, brick and mortar, online. Never in my 30 years as an entrepreneur, ever has anyone taught me anything that I learned, because I obviously went through the class myself also. That was why I was so excited about coming to the 10K Project, because I know what kind of people are members of the 10K Project. I know you guys do just a great job getting everybody educated about what's going on. But when I literally saw what was possible for us, that we could really create our own table, right? Seat at the table. That's when I got really excited about us bringing this to our community. And I tell people all the time, we don't sell courses, we build community. So that's what's going on. So in regard to the class, we know that this is next level for a lot of people. A lot of people haven't heard of this. If we hadn't heard about evaluation and a number of things in our business life or entrepreneurial life, then we know that there are a lot of people. You guys mentioned being skeptical at first about this. So Curtis went back into the lab and he said, look, let's do a 4-day, a free class, which gets people an introduction to what we do. We want people to really get a chance to understand it, because this is so crucial, because all of those businesses that are going to be going up for sale. And so we want people to at least get a little taste and an understanding so that their mind can get clear to the possibilities. And that's why we're doing the 4-day class, which starts actually tomorrow. And that class for 4 days, you're going to learn a lot. You're not going to necessarily get access to our community that we built, but you will walk away on that 4th day. You will know a lot more about the art of buying businesses and why it's such a profitable and why now is the time. This is the next big gold rush. And so you will get all of that when you attend the 4-day class.
And we've put the link in the chat several times. I don't know, Cherie, if you put it in YouTube as well.
She did.
The people in there, perfect. And in Facebook as well. So, you know, if anyone's interested in the challenge, click on that link, register. Vanessa, I see you joined the challenge. Congratulations in advance, because I know you're going to love it. Having knowing you personally, I know you're going to love it, Vanessa. So that's awesome. For anyone else who's just kind of even considering it, give day one of the challenge a chance, right? And if you like day one, come day two. You like
Exactly.
day two, come day three.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, 4 days will be over, right? And so just do it. You know, I always tell you guys, this is not rocket science. We just got to do something towards the goal. You don't have to do it all, right? You don't have to do it all at once for sure. Just do a little bit towards it and see how it feels. And the other thing, and Kevin said how I felt. Kevin said that it's been mind-blowing, a little intimidating. He says, I've been forced to face my doubts and fears of uncertainty, right? That's a little bit about what I was feeling in the very beginning, just doubting myself and my ability. And I'm telling you, I don't have nobody's PhD and I don't have nobody's MBA and master's in finance and none of that good stuff. I don't have no wallpaper. My wall is paint, right? And so I'm telling y'all.
But you're HR, so you know this.
If I could do this,
Yeah.
you can do this. I'm
Yeah.
telling you, people, if you want to learn something that's going to take you to the next phase in your journey, this is a viable option that you need to vet. And if a 4-day free challenge doesn't get you to see that opportunity, then you're not ready. And that's okay, because we're still here to carry you through until you're ready, right? Because we'll keep talking about this and we'll keep talking about other things. We're not going to leave you hanging. We're going to be right here with you until you get ready, because now may not be the time, and that's okay. But I'm telling you, don't doubt yourself, because if I can do it, I'm telling y'all can do it. I'm telling you. A little common sense is all you need. Now, if you don't have that, then you might have some trouble. But
Right. But it's also almost to what I want them to think about related to real estate, creative financing for real estate and flipping. It's really just a different sector that we're in, that you're coming in and you're going to learn how to buy these businesses. You're going to evaluate them. You're going to learn every piece of that business, but you also have an opportunity to learn, and then we'll do the work. You have a lot of options in there. What Dr. K hadn't told you, Dr. K is now one of our coaches.
yes.
So there is, when you go through the program, there's a number of opportunities that come your way also. So you got several options that you probably didn't even know that you had or you were capable of.
Yeah, that's a very good point. And like I said earlier, also, you know, you may not be interested or have the time to learn how to buy businesses, right? But there's this other piece to it, right? This component of being a passive investor, because you know, we talked about raising capital without using any of your own money. Well, that's where the investors come in, right? We're vetting these businesses. We're making sure they are viable from the standpoint of vetting them, evaluating them, and looking through all the financial documents and making sure the numbers make sense and all of those things, right, that you may not have time to do. Yeah. But the passive investing is another way to build wealth, right? And these are going to be better rates than the bank's giving you for having that money just sitting there, right? We can't tell you what the rates are, because that's going to be, you know, each firm is going to give you whatever their rate is. But I can tell you this is more than what the bank is giving you for just having that money sitting there. And so Laverne, Dr. Keisha, Talisha, and I all have firms, and I'd love to give the ladies an opportunity to share theirs, but Talisha and I are business partners, and our company is OEO Holdings and Associates. And so I am enamored to be running a business with my very best friend. And so I'm glad she has me every day to help me grow and run this business. And Laverne and Dr. Keisha, I know you guys have firms as well. And we all have micro private equity firms. One day we're gonna not call them micro, right? One day, ladies, we are gonna say we have private equity firms, and that day is gonna be a beautiful day. So Laverne and Dr. Keisha, do you want to talk about your firms a little bit? And Talisha, if you want to put ours in the chat.
Yes, mine is Next Level Investors, because it's the next level investors. Actually, it's my son, me and my son. So I kind of got him to join with me. So yeah, so it's the two of us. And I just know that we are just it's just uphill from here.
Nice. Dr. K?
Mine is EmpowerX Partners, and it's kind of a combination of empowerment and acceleration. That's where I came up with that. And that is entirely my expectation. Like I said, there's like you mentioned, Robin, there's so many different ways you can go with the education that you learn in this experience that, there's no reason not to be able to just get in here and make this what you want it to be. And as per usual, voice Cherie, you really brought up something when you talked about changing businesses into Black-owned businesses. That's taking it back, you guys. And I don't know, we are actually focusing on the personal care and personal care and beauty and personal care industry. And I love that particularly because that, to me, I feel like that's our way of taking back that industry. I mean, this is just a Black play that is dear to my heart. I love it. Here's the cat. There's the cat.
that cat is still there. Huh?
You wouldn't be a good guest if the cat didn't show up.
Exactly.
Would not be.
Our mascot. But yes, absolutely. So yeah, I'm so excited that everybody is taking the opportunity to take a look at this 4-day challenge to be sure. Bring your questions, I want to say, because that's the one thing I have absolutely loved about this particular group. I just get so excited just to learn stuff that I don't even know what to ask a lot of times. But, with Tawana in there with great questions, and Kevin in there with great questions, and Laverne in there with her experience of different things, already. The questions are rich. I'm just a teacher in there trying to figure it all out. So I'm like, I know I will learn, no problem. But as far as having good questions to ask, that's what's so rich about being in this group. So bring your questions, bring your skepticism. Curtis isn't scared of y'all. So ask the question. He will answer your question, or he won't. Or you'll figure it out.
Right. Or he'll make you go back to something and answer your question. Because he does that a lot. Like by day 3, if you ask a question that you should have been listening on day 1 or 2, he's going to send you back to find the answer to that question. I called him one day with a question and I said, I need to understand blah, blah, blah. He said, you already know that answer. And I was like, no, I don't. That's why I'm calling you. And he was like, yes, you do. And I was like, no, I don't. And he said, yes, you do. And then I thought, and I was like, damn it, he's right. I do know the answer. And I went back to my notes and they were right, but it was right there. I had written down my own. It was almost as if I wrote the question. I wrote the answer with my question 5 days later in mind, because the answer was right there. I was like, damn it, I hate him. Like,
isn't that like you have one parent, either your father, your mother, who was like, I don't know how to spell that word. Go look in the dictionary. If I knew how to spell the word, I wouldn't need the dictionary.
I love it, because that's exactly how I teach my students. That's exactly how I teach my students. Special needs notwithstanding. I'm telling you, I do exactly.
That's the level of proactivity that we need. I think this is what we're coming with. We cannot just find everything is not going to be a step-by-step, Google it and everything answered. It's not that. You have to really fill in the blanks for yourself. There's enough information. And again, it's not like we're going to turn you away, because he always says he gives you what you need. And then he'll ask you that follow-up question. So it's like, there's going to be gaps. You're not going to know everything. but you
And
have the
that's
framework. Ask the right question in order to be like, this is what I looked at, this is what I found, does this make sense to you? Or come at it from that perspective, I think brings you a much richer experience also, because everybody's coming. Everybody, I always say, you're a consumer. You've been to every business. You've done business in some capacity. So you have a framework already here. It doesn't mean that you own a business, but you've patronized a business. And in that in time, you're coming at it from a very aspect that you're asking the right questions already just because you want that service.
Yeah. Now there's a question in YouTube that I want to make sure we get to. I know that there are questions here as well in Zoom, but Good Times in YouTube says, we get this all the time. It sounds like the biggest challenge for most people would be coming up with the capital to buy a business. Can you all talk about like how you, obviously you're not giving away everything within the course, but the frame of mind of you don't have to have the $50,000, $100,000 yourself in order to buy the business. Because I do think that that's a huge hang up that 99% of people will have.
I'll say this one thing and then I'll turn it over to Robin. Think group economics.
Yes.
That's the one thing I'll say without, because you got to go to the mastermind and you got to do that and you got to, you got to do the things. You got to do your part, Good Times. But I'm going to tell you, my tip would be group economics.
Yes.
Robin, what would you say?
Definitely what you just said, group economics. That's why I was drawn to the 10K project. Because remember, if people really know the story behind the 10K project, 10,000 people at $100 is $1 million, right? So it's those numbers. It's really learning how to use numbers effectively. And it's also learning how to bring in money that isn't your own a lot of times. Again, related to the real estate. If you're a real estate investor and you've seen them do things like when they do the flips or when they have a contract or when the owner is carrying the paper, or the sustainable deal structure where the owner is a part of the deal, right? Because now instead of them getting the money up front, they're getting the money a little bit each month. I mean, again, like Tawanda said, we don't want to tell you everything, but there are ways to do this without putting up any of your own money. And so I think innovation is really what opens up your mind to knowing that there is another way to do things. And no one had really placed this in the business buying world, right? So there's things like extracting credit from the business that's been there for a while. There's also a way to build up your own credit. And that's what the community is about. And that's what I love about everybody that spoke. Everybody brings something different to the table. And that's to be part of that collective is where you get these ideas. They come from. So yeah, lots of options. And then of course, everybody will have their own private equity firm also. So
yeah, and in regards to that, the using other people's capital, it's in a way that it's win-win for everyone, right? It is not predatory, right? So these are preferred ROI rates that you're being offered for helping us raise this capital for business, right? It is absolutely a win-win for everyone. And that's important to me, and to all of us here, even knowing these ladies, that's important because what we're trying to do is build our community up, right? We've already been taken advantage of enough, right? And so we're trying to enhance the community. So we're passing on some of that profit. We're passing on a good portion of that profit to our investors because we understand how important they play a role in this. And so that's the other part of it. It's when you think, oh, you're taking other people's money and not using your own. No, I'm giving other people an opportunity to make more money by loaning me some of their own. That is what I am doing because it's absolutely win-win for all of us. If I eat and you don't, then I'm not winning. That's not a good look, right? We all eat, or none of us do. All right.
You have a couple of questions in the Q&A. Yes.
Miss Vivian says, is this challenge open to people outside of the US as well? I would like to share the information to family and friends who live in the US and abroad.
Yes, in fact, one of our team members is in Canada, Samantha. She's in Canada. And so you can take the same, it's no different if you were buying international property. So yeah, you can share this information with people outside of the US, absolutely.
Wonderful. And Anonymous says, do you need to have good credit?
No, you do not. No.
Yeah. Very good. Laverne, Dr. Keisha, if you want to put your firm's information in the chat, for Talisha and I, we are OEO Holdings and Associates. Our email address, I'm trivers@oeoholdings.com. Talisha is tshine@oeoholdings.com. And we did also put ours in the chat as well. I'll just plug that in here again. But, these are Black women-owned firms. And so let's say that a couple of times, right? Black women-owned firms.
Y'all need to have a 10 list. Y'all know, like they have the list of like the up and coming, angel investors and private equity investors. Y'all could have.
We're working on a directory.
We're working on it. Yeah, we're working on it. Look, yeah, Felicia, the name was called Built to Sell. I thought I had mine sitting here, but I must have it by the bedside table.
And I have a PDF. I sent out over 600 copies of that book to people.
Wow.
So there was a PDF. And I saw someone ask who is teaching the class. So let me give you a little bio on Curtis. So Curtis is a 25-year executive with Boeing, the Boeing company. He was responsible for flying all across the United States and making sure their operations were in place. He saved Boeing somewhere like $2 billion, but when you're on salary, you don't get any of that. So, and Curtis has been partnered with Ace Chapman, who you guys have had on the show also. So Curtis has tweaked this and made it our own, and he is an amazing teacher, as you guys have heard. He's really, really great at teaching.
Yeah, he really, really is. Al says, does the 10K community teach how to start a micro equity firm? Al, you just gave us something else to add to our list. We'll add that to the list of things to teach.
We're always looking for a roadmap of different things y'all want to learn. So yeah.
And then Kimberly says, I'm almost at retirement age, but would like to own a business. Can I be the member who signs up for the program, but have my family participate?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't see why not.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So yeah, Kimberly, click on that link, join the 4-day challenge. Share the link with your family members who you want to participate, right? And figure that out. That's awesome. Oh, good. She said already did. Wonderful. Oliver said, what's the title of the book, please? It's Built to Sell. None of us have it in front of us. We ought to be ashamed of ourselves.
No, I don't.
I was a PDF, so.
Yeah, let me run and get mine.
I'm going to share my screen here.
Here you go. Yeah.
This is it here. Built to Sell, John Warrilow. Built to Sell. It's the book on the left.
Oh, awesome. Sharice showing it. Great.
And it's on Amazon. It's a very, very well-known book.
Yeah, and it's a very easy read too.
Yeah.
It read like a novel, like a little, like it was really a cool story. It didn't read like a finance book. I couldn't put it down. I read it over the weekend, over a weekend, and I could not put it down. And it was just kind of like I really did feel like I was like watching like a Netflix, like binge watching a Netflix show or something.
Yeah.
So it's a really easy read.
Yeah, so this is it here on Amazon, Built to Sell, John Warrilow. And they have it on audiobook as well, everybody. Free with your Audible trial. So look, if y'all looking for free 99, there it is.
Very good.
So,
thank you for showing that. So
yeah,
Oliver, you
I hope
have
everybody
that.
got it.
And then Anonymous says, can you speak about how these companies would adapt to the Web3 world? Very nicely, Anonymous.
Yeah, that's a
We can't give it all away, Anonymous. You got to go to the challenge, but very nicely is what I would
Yes.
say. Very
Yes.
adaptable.
We like to say bricks to meta. As close as we can get.
That's right. Remember the metaverse mimics.
Metaverse, please say metaverse.
Metaverse.
Meta is not what we're doing. We're not
The
going to say
metaverse.
That is correct.
The
Well
metaverse, right? Or the many metaverses, right? Because there's more than one.
lowercase metaverse.
Right.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
It's like the internet.
It
Correct.
mimics
Correct.
real life, right? So think about communities of businesses, right? In that occupy each metaverse. These are businesses that are brick and mortar that can easily be turned into digital assets. So we're going to leave that right there and answer your question. Very, very adaptable. Any other questions? These are really good questions. We've got 5 more minutes. Anonymous says, thank you. You're very welcome. Anything else in YouTube, Cherie?
Sorry, I was on mute. I was looking, Alethea just said, I just put the book on hold at my local library. So great idea. That is all I see in YouTube. And I see Antoine Hines is here.
Hi, Antoine. Congratulations to Antoine. Antoine just signed his agreement to be an official investment or business to buy land. Antoine is part of a group and they're going to buy land. They're starting in Virginia and then they're going to expand. Antoine did a session with us. Gosh, I think it's been about 7, maybe 8 months ago, maybe even a little longer.
Longer than that. Yeah, we've got to
great. Yeah, we've got to have him come back and give us an update. But congratulations to Antoine and his team. They are trying to reclaim land that has been stolen from us. And he's part of a group that's doing amazing work. So congratulations
starting
again.
In the former Confederate states and then going to go national. So, so I definitely, Antoine, I will reach out to you so we can have you back on. But I don't see any other comments in our social media. I do see a lot of people watching though, especially on YouTube. Thumbs up, everybody.
That's great, guys. This is awesome. You know, the goal here at 10K Project is to share information that we believe is going to help you build wealth or get to the next phase of whatever building looks like, right? Because it's not always, sometimes you got to build credit first. Sometimes you got to build mindset, right? It gets you to the building of the wealth, but that's the end game. And we're giving you the roadmap that we believe can help along the way. And we're giving you a lot of options because we're all different, right? What resonates with me won't resonate with someone else and vice versa, right? And remember, what we think will resonate with us and what may not, right? So I didn't think the business buying was going to, and it has in a huge way. So the other part of that lesson is don't limit yourself. Try a little bit of everything and see what sticks. I liken it to like when you're cooking spaghetti and you throw the noodle against the cabinet to see if it's done. Like that's what we need to do with ourselves. Like throw the noodle up against the cabinet and see if it sticks or if it rolls off. If it rolls off, maybe it's not the time. Maybe it's not the right thing. But if it sticks, give it a chance. I mean, we owe it to ourselves to try something different to get those different results. You know, for us, this is business buying, right? And it may be some other things because we're not limiting ourselves to only business buying also, right? We get to have more than one passion. I'm learning that these days is I don't have to limit myself to one passion, which is another myth that I thought I had to have one thing I love to do. No, I get to love more than one thing. And so, you know, that's something we have to remember as well. If you're interested in reaching out to any of us, we've put our information there in the chat for you. We put it in YouTube for you. Again, Black women-owned firms. Once this merger is done, Robin Mansell will be the president and CEO, right? So Black women are doing their thing. Any final words?
Kevin is causing trouble in the chat.
What Kevin say?
Kevin's saying,
what happens to just tasting the spaghetti?
Spaghetti?
Kevin, that's not how you do it in the Black family. Come on, why are you playing? That's how y'all did it in your house, Kevin? You actually ate the hot spaghetti noodle? No, you threw it against the cabinet. My mother's the only one that did that?
I think that was your mama.
Yeah.
That was your mama.
I just said he was causing trouble. He is causing trouble in the chat here. And yet Kevin's probably going to come back next year and say, I just bought a $10 million business. Who wants in? I just signed a deal. Sure. Those are the main ones, the ones that are causing trouble in the chat.
Kevin's a troublemaker. He is. He's a troublemaker anyway.
Oh, Latrice, I would have gotten a whooping if I wasted food. Me too. I look, my grandmother was a depression. She survived the depression.
One noodle.
Nothing sticking on the cabinet, Tawana. No.
Y'all gonna make me call Flo and ask her why she had me do that.
Yes, Kevin, we love you. Of course we do. I'm messing with you personally because I think it's hilarious. It's always the class clown that ends up, on stage, except the Oscar.
Exactly.
Right. Ms. Vivian said from the beginning, the 10K Project has done great work in educating our people in business, a wealth of information shared over the years. Thank you so much, Ms. Vivian.
Definitely.
Thank you so much. Latrice said we didn't throw food nowhere. We better throw it in our mouth.
We got to throw it in our mouth. I know that's right.
Clean Plate Club.
Oh, goodness. Guys, this has been a great session. Thank you all so much for joining. We got another question? Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, what price for the course again? So the course is free. The 4-day challenge is free. After you join the 4-day challenge, if you decide to move forward, then there'll be information provided on day 4 of that challenge. But it's a 4-day free challenge. So whatever price they give you on day 4, take advantage of the 4 free days is what I tell you to do, because they're giving information. And I'm telling you, all the information is good. When I heard 4-day challenge the other day, I said to myself, what are they going to give for free? Because all of the information is valuable and worth money. What could they possibly say that's good for free? And then I thought, okay, be quiet, Tawana. This is their program. They will give away all this good meat. Let them go ahead and give it away. So I didn't say nothing, but I sure thought it on Sunday when you guys shared with us that it was a free challenge. I was like, free? Because I'm telling y'all, every bit of their information is worth something. So y'all better go get that free.
So Tawana, I did not get a chance to ask you for the Bet on Black pitch tomorrow. Can we get
tomorrow? Tomorrow's Bet on Black pitch is, how can I say it? Tomorrow, I'm gonna say this. I don't know if I should say this, but I'm gonna say this. Tomorrow's Bet on Black pitch actually has the funding they need, but they wanted to bring this deal to the community because they know you need to get in on this deal. So they just raised $20 million. So equity crowdfunding, they don't really need that, right? But what they wanted is for this community to have a seat at the table. And that's why they're doing the deal on via equity crowdfunding. So that's what I'm gonna tell you about tomorrow's founder. And
sounds like an intrigue frame to me.
And we all know how much work we've had all the founders tell us how much work having a campaign is. For a founder to not need the dough and still come to give you the opportunity. That's huge.
At least come and hear what they have to say or listen to the replay.
For sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me just check YouTube one more time. Yeah, we have no further questions on any of our social media. I don't see any more in the Q&A here either. Everybody, first of all, congratulations to all of you. Second, thank you so much for coming here and agreeing on this Juneteenth holiday to take time out of your schedule in order to come here and just let the community know about your experience. We don't take that lightly. To everybody who is in the chat, thank you so much for being here, as well. Enjoy the rest of your Juneteenth. Tomorrow night, we will have our Bet on Black pitch, and that's it.
And I hope all our fathers had a wonderful day yesterday. And don't just limit yourself to celebrating one day. Take forever. Celebrate yourselves forever, Black man, because you deserve it.
Yeah, you do.
All right.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.